Okay, so let's kick it off. There's Brian. He's got a Hawaiian shirt on. He's coming to us from Maui. He's ready to go.
Ready to go to your party.
Just remember, Brian, Don Ho's got nothing on you. That's
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Cameron, let's start off with you. FSBO's expireds. Give us some tips.
I love it. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's staying productive and staying busy. So actually, I was hoping to go a little bit later, but that's okay. I figured most everybody is going to jump in on the expireds and how they're doing their expireds. So I wasn't going to touch on as much on that, but I wanted to really kind of tell everybody or show everybody what we're doing with for sub owners, because that's something that we're still doing and is working really well for us. We actually have made a complete book, and actually it wasn't me that created it. It was actually my father. He did this back in the last boom and during the last expired rush. So we've kind of recreated it, obviously, for our current team and our company and everything that we're doing. But I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm going to actually post the link, and hold on, let me make sure I get it posted for everybody. And then the coupon code, just so that it's free, is Tribe100. So what I did is I created this booklet, or I recreated this booklet. And what I do now when I have a for sub owner that's in a neighborhood that I'm working, or I drive by one in a neighborhood that I want to work, I will reach out to them as the friendly neighborhood realtor. We just sold something down their street. I saw the for sub owner sign pop up, or I seen that it popped up online, whatever it may be. And I actually wrote a book for people that are selling their home for sub owner, just like you. And normally I sell it for $100. We sell it on Amazon. We sell it all over. But I'm happy to send it to you, right? And it's just a way to get their email address, become the good buddy that they want to, talk with and work with. And you send them this 100-page PDF is what it is. We actually upload it online, but it's a 100-page PDF, and it goes through everything on how to sell a home, man. But at the very beginning and throughout the whole thing, it's constantly reminding them, if this is too much for you, reach out to me. I'd love to help you, and I can earn you more. It's proven that I earn you more, but I understand you're trying to save it. No problem. I want to show you how to do it. And it's just this amazing education book that they can read through and use. What I found, because we track where people end up, is they read about 24 pages and they close it. That's okay, though, because we're the only realtor that reached out to them and gave them something, and it gives me another reason to call them and say, hey, guys, just wanted to see if you read that book. They always say, yeah, I read it, loved it, thank you so much, even though they only read 10 pages. And it's just another reason to contact them. Great. Well, I'm going to be in your area. I'd love to see your home. And that is really the big hook, is that second call after you provided them a ton of value. You just gave them a way to sell their home. I'd love to be, like I said, we just sold a home down the street, or whatever your initial call was. Usually that's what I use, is it's always circle prospecting of homes that we're selling or we're doing open houses on. And then, the second call is, I'm going to be in your area. I would love to stop by and see your house and introduce myself to you and your wife. And you get that initial, sit down and appointment before anyone else. That has been a huge game changer for us with for sub owners. And we use it, or I use it exclusively. And it works just exceptional. Now, with the booklet, like I said, it's for sale. The big hook, obviously, is I sell it for $100, and you can go on my website and I send them the link. But I'll make you a coupon code so you can have it for free. That way you can read it and look at it. If you don't give it some type of value, if you don't make them believe that it's worth something, they'll never even view it. They won't even open it. But if you say it's $100, but I'm going to give you a coupon code to make it for free, they just eat it up, you guys. They all will download it. They all want to see what it is. They want to see what is worth $100. It really is worth $100 if they did it all. But they want to see what it is. It gets them excited. It gets them wanting to follow up with you. And then when they see you again, you're just that, friendly go-to realtor that gave them all that information. And darn, all those other realtors that called me, doing the Mike Ferry script, as much as we love our scripts, but they had nothing to offer. They wanted to tell you how good they were, versus you just want to say, hey, I got a book. You might want to read it. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give it to you for free. How about that? And then what's your best email? Send it to them. And then you just get in that contact flow. Now, this is going to go more generic over both expireds and for sub owners. Once you connect with them and you talk with them, you guys, it's so important to get them in your CRM, have a follow-up system in place. That way you can track when you're talking to them, what you said last time, or if you're having a team reach out to people just to get them on the phone for appointment setting, you can see exactly when, you're actually getting a hold of them, how long it's been, etc. Because it's so important that if it's been 10 days, it should never be 10 days, but it happens, you guys. At least it happens for us sometimes. I want them to say, hey, I know it's been a week and a half. I apologize. We're just slam busy. That's why we're a top team in the area, blah, 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 move right back forward. I wasn't trying to bug you. You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want when you have good notes. And that's why, keeping a good CRM is important. We will always, we've been using KV Core for a few years. It works great. I love KV Core. I know a lot of people use KV Core. An excellent CRM. We've actually been trying out or testing out Chime. I know it's now a new feature with EXP. So we've been personally testing it and it works great, you guys. So if you're on the fence about the Chime EXP integration, try it, give it a shot because it's working really well and it just seems to be very fluid. Their AI comment or their AI reply person or system is actually really good. I'm surprised by how good it works and kind of is able to prevent that 10-day buffer when you do miss someone that just sends you a random text or sends you a note. It kind of will ping you and then it pings my phone and it's like, oh, good. Hey, it's good to know. Not only do you get the first message, but then you get the notification too. So been working good, but that's something that we offer. That book, you guys try it. You can customize it, download it there, put it in the Word or Excel or whatever you have for, customizing it, make it look like your own. And then, send it out to for sale owners, try it, give it to them. Maybe you don't have to set up a site that you're selling it, all that. Just try to give it to them. And I promise you'll be way ahead of everybody else that just trying to call and, tell them that they sold a home down the street.
Love that. That's great stuff. That's awesome.
Hey, by the way, while you were talking, I literally went to that. I put the code in and it's downloaded. So if y'all, it is easy. You should do it. Take them up on it. It's free stuff. So.
Well, and my saying, if it's free, it's for me. So I love it.
And it's honestly, you guys, it's really good. Like I said, I didn't personally write it. It was written by, my dad years and years ago during the last crazy push with all the for sub owners and expireds. And it was amazing how well it worked back then. Now we brought it up to new age stuff, talking about social media and talking about all the new stuff that we can do and that we're doing. And it works just as well today, you guys. It's the same idea. It's just giving value. You always lead with value.
Love it. It's really, really good stuff. Let's go over to Brian Moses. He's partying the Red Sea in Waltham, Mass. Talk to me about FSBOs and expires.
Great.
I know you have some great scripts.
I'm really excited about this. Of the 400 sales that we did annually, about 20% of our business, 75 to 80 deals a year, came from FSBOs and expireds. And it's like shooting fish in a barrel. So I'm excited to share this strategy with everybody. Let's start with expireds. So one of the most important things we must do is differentiate ourselves from the masses. If everybody else does it, we need to go 180 degrees in a different direction. So instead of sending a letter or calling with the traditional scripts, I don't like to chase people. I like to get them to call me. We print out the expireds, the full detailed 8x10 full page expired listing sheet out of the MLS. We take a red magic marker and like a school teacher grading a student's paper, we put red marks all over that son of a bitch in expired page. Question marks, arrows, what's this? Circling omissions and errors and typos and mistakes. And then we put just a little sticky note. I know why your house hasn't sold. I want to help. Call me, Brian, 555-1212. And we mail those to all the expireds. It's about a 20% response rate. So I don't want to call them all. I don't want to chase them down. But if they call me, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. So we mail that to them. Some people will say, well, Brian, are we going to get in trouble? The more successful you become, the bigger the bullseye is on your back and people will bitch and complain. My rebuttal, if somebody complains, is because we don't disparage the competition. I'm not saying anything about the agent. I'm just saying, I know why your home didn't sell. So I'm not disparaging the agent, but if the listing agent did get wind of that, they're going to be pissed off. Well, my response to the listing agent is do your freaking job right the first time. The house didn't sell, it's up for grabs and I'm going after it. And don't be pissed that your seller's, calling me. So that's a really, really easy one to implement. If you have an assistant, you can make that part of their job description. And now they're not an expense to you. They'll generate more than their annual wages in deals for you by doing this one strategy. So that's my expired strategy. For sale by owners, I love for sale by owners. So there's a couple of parts to the for sale by owner. First of all, finding them. So the sources that we use are ZBuyer, Craigslist. There's a site on Zillow, Make Me Move, for sale by owner websites, neighborhood scouting, newspapers. For sale by owners are easy to find. So we have our assistant look at all those sources, make a list of the for sale by owners. You have to put yourself in their shoes mentally and understand that there's two parts to overcoming a for sale by owner. One, they want to save the commission. Easy peasy. Two, they don't have a lot of respect for our industry. So we have to solve both of those problems. My first solution to the problem is cooperation with no expense. So I call the for sale by owner and I say, hey, it's Brian Moses calling. I'm not calling to list your home. I'm calling to see if you're willing to cooperate with an agent to help you sell your home. 75, 80% will be like, yeah, sure, bring your buyer, we'll pay you 3%. So if they go, no, we're not cooperating with anybody. So if they say, yes, great, when can I see your home? And you get the appointment. The goal is to get the appointment. Well, why don't you just bring your buyer? I'm working with lots of buyers. I don't want to just traipse people through your home. Why don't I come by, take a look at your home, and if I have a match, I'll bring them by and we'll try to put a deal together. And if I don't, I'll tell you directly that I don't. You know, you guys are showing the house. When can I come see it? When can I come by? If they say we're not cooperating with realtors, this one is drop the mic, checkmate. There's no fee involved. See, the buyers that we're working with are under a buyer agency agreement, meaning they've hired us to represent them, to help them find a home and help them through, get all the way through closing. They've agreed to pay our fee. So because they've agreed to pay our fee, there's no commission involved, no expense to you. Would you be willing to cooperate with an agent if it didn't cost you anything? Aren't you doing this because you want to save the money? This is the best of all worlds. Okay, great. So now when I'm at their property, I'm going to go through the property and I'm going to go, I've got a buyer, but price is a function of supply and demand. And as I'm sure you're aware of, the more demand you get, the better price you'll receive. You guys said that you were willing to pay 3%. But I want you to think about this. And this is the line that's the most important piece of this. Price is driven by supply and demand. What percentage of buyers in the marketplace today are not working with a realtor? And they go, I don't know. Well, 99% of the buyers in the marketplace today are working with a realtor. Why? Because the fee is built into the price of the property that they're buying. So you're missing out on 99% of the market. Were you aware of that? Did you even think about that? Anybody can sell your house. You can sell your house. Like, it's easy. You fill out a purchase and sale agreement, but there's a lot more to getting your property sold at the best price. And if you're missing out on 99% of the market, if you don't have multiple offers, don't you think you'd be leaving money on the table? Can I share with you a couple of the things that we do that drive demand, put you in a position to create a bidding war? And if we could get you a sales price that works for you, that encompassed our fee, that's better, would that work for you? In other words, do you want to pay no commission and sell your house at $400,000? Or would you be willing to invest in a professional, have them do all the marketing to create a bidding war and sell your house for $500,000 or $600,000? So understand the for sale by owners trying to save the commission. And you can bite your nose off to spite your face. You can sell your home at 0%. I was just talking with My high school buddy who I played football with the other day, he sold his house, is looking for a property in our market. And he said, you know, I'm just gonna rent. And I said, why would you rent? Why would you dream of renting? He's like, well, you know, prices are crazy, interest rates are crazy. I said, but what about the mortgage interest deduction when you own a property? You make a lot of money, you can write off the mortgage interest, and property values are still appreciating. So you buy a property today, you keep it for 5 or 7 years, you'll have some equity in it when you go to sell it down the road. And he talked about, well, that's not true in Sauhegan Woods. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, there was a private sale in there and they sold for 500,000. Everything else in there is sold for 100,000, for 600,000. So prices are declining. I said, ding dong. If it was a private sale, the seller basically gave up the commission when they sold it, which is what I often see happen. So the seller didn't net any more money. The seller sold it to the first guy that came along for 500,000, where a realtor could have sold it for 600,000, and the seller would have netted more money. So understand that the fee is really a non-issue. It's about supply and demand. And that's my strategy in working with FSBOs. One other thing that I'll add, if you can't get the listing, if you're unsuccessful getting the listing, we have a FSBO kit. Hey, you've got this little 4x6 sign that's posted on your tree that you bought from Home Depot. I got an 18x24 black and white sign that says for sale by owner with a 1-800 number. Do you really want to handle all these inquiries? So you can use my sign, my directional signs, free of charge, no cost to you. I use a 1-800 call rail number, which by the way, captures every phone number that calls that number. And now I have buyer leads from my buyer department that I can give out. I'll talk about that in just a second. And I want you to advertise that 1-800 number. So you're advertising it on Facebook, you're advertising it on Craigslist. Everywhere you advertise it, tell everybody about the property. I'll give you a template and I have them tell everything about the property. The more the seller tells about the property, the fewer inquiries they get, right? It's too big, it's too small, the price doesn't work. So my goal is actually to sabotage their efforts and have them tell everything about the property. And then at the very end of the script, it says, if you'd like more information or to see the property, call me, the homeowner, John Smith, and I'll be happy to show you the property. So the sellers love this because they don't have to answer the phone. It's a system. I get all the buyer leads on it. My buyer's agents call the buyers and go, hey, you called on 123 Oak Street, the for sale by owner. Any interest in seeing that property? No, we don't have any interest. It's too expensive. It's too big. It's too small. Oh, great. At our office, we have a buyer advantage program where you look in and we'll set you up. So we convert those. We use the for sale by owner to generate leads. It's a really great for sale by owner system. And we get them to advertise it. And then finally they give up and they go, man, nobody's calling. We're not getting any activity. Come get your sign and list my house.
Love that. Can you put that in the chat, the FSBO package or whatever you have, or what? Do you have the ability to do that?
Well, it's just, it's a regular 18x24 sign like you would have with, you know, it's a metal sign. But we had a sign company, they're white panels and it just says for sale by owner. I don't know if I have a picture that I can put in the chat, but I think everybody can kind of visualize it. Instead of, you know, the dinky, rinky dink marketing that a for sale by owner does with that little Home Depot sign that they tack on a tree, or, you know, they take 2 yardsticks and try to make a sign. They don't do a really good job with signage. So we give them a really legitimate first class sign. But the best part is it's not the homeowner doesn't have to answer the phone 100 times a week, right? To go, how many bedrooms is it? How many baths? How many square footage? So we give them a script and they record that. We record that script for them on the 1-800 number. And they love it because at the end of the script, it says, if you'd like to see this property, call the owner. Don't call Brian, call the owner and set up a showing. So we're driving traffic to them, but nobody ever calls them because we've told them all about the property.
I love that. So what do you use for a 1-800 number?
A
Which
call
one?
rail number. Yeah, you just get a call rail number. So it's a 1-800 number with a 4-digit ID code,
Okay,
and it captures all the phone numbers of the people that called to find out about the property.
right. And where do you get that?
Brian.
Number? Because a lot of people are asking where to get that number.
We had a technology back in the day. It was Dennis, do you remember who we used? I forget the name of the
I think
company.
it was
I don't even.
automated. Was it AMS, Automated
Yes.
Marketing Solutions?
Yes, we used AMS, but there's dozens, and just Google 1-800 numbers. You know, how do I get a 1-800 number with a voice mailbox?
Or you could just use CallRail, which is what I use, which is what Brian mentioned. I don't think it's an 800 number, but it's actually a local number, Pete.
Okay,
So it's the
Okay.
same. It's same idea, you know. So
it's called Call Real.
Call
rail,
rail.
like a railroad track. Yep, CallRail.
Oh, okay. Railroad track. Okay. Dennis is on the caboose. I like that. All right. Call Real. We get that one going. too.
Hundreds of buyer leads generated by the marketing of the for sale by owner for my team. It's really a really great strategy.
Yeah, because I think you're going to see a lot of sale by owners right now, especially with the market and the inventory being tight. They all just think, oh, I can put it out there. The funniest thing is they don't want anybody in their house. So I don't know how the hell they're going to sell their house. It's the most, the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I went on one yesterday, a high-end one in La Jolla, and they were super nice. And they basically were like, I go, how can we help you? Do you want some open houses done? Do you want us to qualify some buyers? Yeah, we don't really want anybody in our house. I'm like, so how are you going to sell it? And they said, oh, we're just going to notify some of the local agents and see if they have a buyer. If they bring a buyer, we'll pay them 3%. I said, that's interesting. Okay, what about all the other buyers? I mean, you're going to call every single agent and let them know? And they said, well, that's how we're going to try it at first. Oh, okay.
Yeah, another dialogue for the for sale by owner is, you know, where do you think buyers are looking for homes? Are they looking online? Where? Zillow, Realtor.com. Are you on those sites? You're missing 99% of the market by trying to save a commission. What if we can get you a number that's better in your pocket even after the commission? And the 1% of the buyers that are willing to look at for sale by owners, they are experienced, they're savvy, they know you're trying to save the commission, and guess what? They are too. So what I find happens is that you can sell your home yourself. And like that story I told you earlier, the family that sold their condo for $500,000, they sold it themselves, yay, and they left a shit ton of money on the table because the house was worth $600,000.
And do you find that most sale by owners, they overprice their house and then people just eliminate 6% right off the top?
Yes. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, we're in a state out here in California, it's not very litigious. So I'm sure that most of the sale by owners don't end up in lawsuits. I think it's 70% end up in lawsuits. So
74.
Wow.
very, very interesting. Let's go to Brian Yarber, because he's got his flashy Tommy Bahama Don Ho shirt on.
Thank you. Yeah.
How do you get sale by owners and expireds to the luau? Tell me.
Well, I don't have a lot to add to Brian, but I have a very similar approach to both. And when you're looking into for sale by owners and expireds, you could almost treat them similar, right? Because when a property expires, it was so funny when I was really dominant in my market with listings, I'd get occasionally when the market was back when we had to take 6-month and 1-year listings. Remember those days, Pete, where you took a listing for, you know, if it was over $1 million, you took it for a year. If it was under $1 million, you just took it for 6 months, right? So, and if something didn't sell in 6 months or a year, there was not really a problem with the agent at that point. There was something else going on in the marketplace. But either way, what happened was great scripts came about. And so one of those was when it was expired, I used to put my phone number in as the seller if I had to expire or withdraw or cancel something, for the fact that I knew that most agents had dialing systems calling on the behalf, and the realtor would just sit there and wait for somebody to answer. And so what happened is I got a lot of phone calls at my home because we didn't even have cell phones back in this day. And agents would just call. They would just call and they wouldn't even do any homework, right? And they would just be calling another agent thinking that was the seller. And I used to just listen to these silly scripts from all these, different Mike Ferry stuff. And when are you going to find a real agent to sell your house and all that? So because of that, I kind of built a bulletproof little system for my agents. And what Brian was talking about is brilliant, because when you give somebody a for sale by owner sign and you actually put the signpost up and the for sale by owner sign in their front yard, really later, all you're going to do is take their sign down and put your sign on your post, because you just sent the post over to the house for them, right? So you could use that post later for your own marketing. You would even tell them on top, put a writer on there that just said shown by appointment only. And obviously the phone number took you to the appointment setter. So those were some things that we did too, Brian, that were really beneficial. Then what we did was when Facebook came around, there's Facebook marketing. That's another place you need to look. So add that to your area. I went on Facebook marketing just now while Brian was talking, and I saw about 20 or 30 homes all around the country that are for sale by owner on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, so make sure you add that to your area. And then there's a third one that you want to add while you're doing your looking for sale by owners and expireds. Keep an eye out for properties, especially single family homes that are vacant with a for lease sign in the front yard. That for lease sign typically has a out of state or out of area phone number on it to call, because that's the homeowner who owns the rental property. They never sold it. They kept it in the neighborhood and they've just been renting it over the years. And a lot of times when those are vacant, that seller, or excuse me, that landlord or lessor becomes vulnerable. And I've called them and I've said, hey, I see your house is for lease and it's vacant. I've got a buyer looking in the area. Have you ever thought about selling that property rather than releasing it? I see you're in Texas now. What do you think about moving that money to Texas? Getting a little closer to you so you don't have a long distance property like this. You probably could buy 3 properties in Texas for the same as this one in California. I've had sellers, or really landlords, convert to a seller in that phone call. So make sure you add that to your call list, okay? So that's a third prospect in the same genre of for sale by owners and expired listings. Real simple, just like what Brian was talking about. Approach them knowing that they're trying to save the commission, or they're just upset that their house didn't sell. They're not sure they want to relist it. I always look for one thing in an expired listing. Did they have a lockbox or not? Because if they don't have a lockbox, they're going to lose over 50% of the actual showings from all of the agents who are looking to show something because they don't do their job and go preview first. So if you haven't previewed a house and it doesn't have a lockbox, chances are it's going to be really hard for you to connect with that seller and see it. Okay, so just know that if they didn't have a lockbox, that's a big reason why their home didn't sell. So there's an issue with why they didn't. You need to approach them and say, let me ask you, why I was looking through and I saw your property, I'm curious, why didn't you have a lockbox? That homes that have a lockbox will sell much quicker because you can show it and agents can show it with much. And then you understand their story, and now you can show them, hey, listen, how would you like a lockbox on your property? But the lockbox is in the house on your kitchen cabinet and you have it and you have control over it and it never goes on your front porch. But if I say, yes, you have a lockbox, do you know I'll have your house shown at least 50% more times? It's just one strategy. Now, I like to tell them that, or I would train my agents to tell the seller that in person. Okay, you don't want to tell them that over the phone. That's an in-person conversation. So to get the in-person, here's what Brian was alluding to. And I know this, 90% of expired listings resell with the agent who can get in front of the seller personally, not over the phone. It's very rare you can land it over the phone. It's better if you're in person. And how Brian was describing there was, hey, listen, I'm a busy agent. I don't know why I never saw your house when it was on the market. You had a great agent. I don't know why it didn't come across my desk, but I have a buyer's team, and my buyer's team relies on me to be the listing agent. And when I'm the listing agent and I miss a property like yours, shame on me for not seeing it, but I don't know why it never came across my desk. I represent a lot of buyers with my team. When would be a good time just for me to stop by? I don't want to list it. I need to see it. That way, when it does come back on the market or when you are ready to sell it, my team knows about it. So I would try to set my own appointment by kind of like humbling myself to them to just tell them, man, I am sorry I didn't see it was on the market, because we sell a lot of houses. We sell a lot of, you know, and take that approach. My wife, when she was working with me, she would do all the for sale by owners, and she had a very simple script that almost got her an appointment 90% of the time, which was, hey, listen, I see you're selling your home. I'm not calling you to list it. I know you're probably getting a lot of agents who want to list your property. My approach is that I want to come by with my digital camera. I want to take about 10 or 15 pictures if you're okay with that. I want to add that to our own buyer pool, and I want to make sure that one of our buyers doesn't miss. Are you okay with us sending you a buyer? Are you having any open houses coming up? Or how are you showing your house? Can we work with you on that list? Like Brian was talking about, we used to say, hey, what are you doing with all the buyers that you show your house to? Do you have any that you were really close to selling it to that maybe they just kind of moved on? Would you mind if we called them? Maybe we could help them understand that your house actually is a really good deal, and maybe we can convert them back in. And so we would just love them up. And the goal is really for Leanne, she would go over, take the pictures, show them to the homeowner and say, are you okay with these pictures to go to our buyer pool? And let's talk about that. And almost every single time she did that, and she only talked about buyers and took pictures, the homeowner asked her this question: well, do you guys list property? And she would say, yeah, we do list property, but that's not why I'm here today. I'm not the listing agent. Brian's the listing agent. He's back in the office. I'm here for all the buyers. Would you like an appointment with him? And she would literally call me on the phone. Probably happened 6 or 7 times out of 10, where she would call me, and over the phone, I would just say, well, yes. And she put me on the speaker with the seller, and I listed 2 over the phone with her, and she staged them for the homeowner because it was vacant. And so we just had like these little soft, humbling approaches where we weren't after their listing. We weren't trying to badger the previous listing agent. If anything, it was my fault I didn't see it. It was my fault I didn't get by there. I'd love to come by there and see it today and get that second option to get in the door. And then finally, like we're going to hear, and like we heard from Cameron, the approach has to be an approach that you seem to be coming across to them as a fiduciary agent. If you're an agent who is a fiduciary agent, the seller or the client or the for sale by owner needs to know that their outcome is what you're working towards. And so, you know, Brian was being a little harsh by saying, I give them all this stuff to fail. No, you were doing that because you know it's going to fail anyway. And your fiduciary is really, you want to help them sell their house. I knew that. I know that's your approach. And that's what we all need to do. We need to figure out a way to help them in a way that they know that it's just going to be a constant delay if they don't get help from a fiduciary agent like all of us. But we all have our own systems. We all have our own scripts. But the ultimate goal is to really help them sell their home and get on to the next level. So that's all I had to add.
That's great stuff. Love it. All right. That was some great tips. I mean, you guys are killing it today on the FSBOs and expireds. So hopefully everybody out there can start going after these people. All right, let's go over to Lurchy in Philly. He just got rid of the cheesesteak. Tell me what's happening. You know, FSBOs, expireds, what's going on?
I'll be honest. I don't chase a lot of FSBOs. They're like tiger, you know, they're like lions. They'll eat their young, you know, and I don't need to deal with people that don't want to deal with me. So, but when I do see something and I do have something in my marketplace that I want to learn, I just literally go in and say, look, here's the deal. I've got buyers that are looking. You've got buyers that you're looking for a buyer. If I can connect you, are you willing to pay me for being a connector? Everybody has an agent. You have a lawyer, you have this. No's no, fine. I'll put you on a dark list, and anybody asks me about it, I'm going to say you don't want to deal with these guys. So I sold 60%, 70%, 50% of the marketplace. I got a question. How many homes have you sold in the past year? I don't, you know, I just have a conversation. And they're like, great. So you haven't sold a home this year. What'd you do last year? None. That I'm like, well, I average one every 5 days, 4 days, 6 days. Odds are I'm going to have some inventory. I'm going to have some expertise that's going to help you get out of jail if you, do something wrong. And by the way, just because you think you're for sale by owner, you're trying to save money, get out of inspections. Buyers think that you're doing something because you're hiding it. Because we have a code of ethics. We have a way of doing business. We're audited by the state to do things in a professional manner. As a for sale by owner, it's just like being a wholesaler. You're just winging it. You're just going out there saying, I'm going to go into the wild, wild west. So that's a choice. That's fine. When you need help, I'm here to help you, so I really don't do much more other than that. I'll be dead honest. And expireds, I learned that off of Brian. I just take it, mark it up and say, I really do have buyers looking for the home. I'm sorry I didn't see it before. Are you relisting it with your agent? If not, give me a call. Love to talk to you. So literally mark it up, write it on a sticky, slap it in an envelope, write it up, all handwritten, drop it in the mail, and know that you're mailing 2 or 3 of them, every day. And you got to stay on them. It's a numbers game, but you can't win if you're not doing the numbers. You're not going to sell houses if you're not doing the work. So it should be part of your checklist. I'm making 20 calls a day, whether I connect to people. I'm mailing out to expireds, whether they do or don't. Here's a hint. I don't go after present expireds either. What I do is I go after old expireds. We go back 12 months ago. We go back 18 months ago. And we look at what didn't sell then. Then we look at the history to see whether it ever did sell. Agents are looking for the instant expired. Look at the old one and then reach out to them saying, you didn't sell because the market may have not met your expectations. You may have not sold because you couldn't find the house you were looking for. You may have not sold because you didn't have pain in the game. If any of these have changed, let me know. I'd like to talk to you because I have buyers that are looking for your house now. So go where everybody else is going. Everybody's going right, go left. Go chase the market that was 12, 18 months ago because nobody's chasing them. The odds are nobody's chasing. If not, it's very, very, very minimal and your competition is less. So that's how I chase expires. I don't do present. I do past.
What do you see in Lurchy? So if an expired's out there right now, does it mean they're overpriced in this type of market?
5 things sell a house, and I tell them location, condition, terms, agent, and price. You're not picking a house up and moving it. Condition, I haven't seen it, so I can't really tell you. I'd be more than happy to walk through it. All right. And 70% of the buyers out there today are looking for homes that are finished because they're too busy with life. They don't know how to do it, or they don't know how to get the people. They're concerned with contractors. Okay. So you have location, condition, terms, when you're willing to settle. Before you might have been saying, I need 6-8 months to buy a house. Now all of a sudden you're ready to sell and settle in 30 to 60 days. That could hold you back. All right. Agent, somebody who has got a past track record and success or has been referred to you. Just because they're referred to you doesn't mean they're good, because they could be brand new and never sold a house. And if you're new on here, I apologize. Go get a team member, go get somebody else, get your broker, use their numbers to go on it. And price. Price is determined by a ready, willing, able buyer and seller in a non-distressed situation. And the appraisers are going to go at things and look at it for the past 3 to 6 comparables for the past 3 to 6 months within a region, not Zillow's numbers, not Redfin's numbers, hard numbers. Because it has a sale price doesn't mean there weren't concessions, because that home, once it's sold with that concession, is appraising off after concession. And they usually say, what's that mean? So this house I sold at 1.5 the other day actually is going to be marked in the multiple as a concession at 1.4. There was a $55,000 credit. The sale price looks here, but when the appraiser uses it, they're taking $55,000 off. So it's 1.445. Well, why would they do that? Again, that's where I have to go fight when we worry about an appraisal. So you got to get them into the uncomfortable zone. And that's how I deal with those 5 things. It's simple. It's all back to the simple dialogue that Brian's used, Brian Yarbur's used, Cameron's used, Dennis. All I'm doing is what I've learned over 34 years from the same people, that regurgitating it out to everybody and sharing now. So we try to make up all these things, make it your own and just do it. So I hope that answered the question, Pete. That's all I go. That's simple. Keep it simple. You're muted.
Sorry, I love that. I love the location, condition, terms, agent, and price. I think that's good to go right down that list on the expireds. And a lot of people say, hey, your house didn't sell. It has nothing to do with price. A lot of people open that line too. Oh, there's Brian's. Look at sale by owner. There's the sign.
Yeah, the upload didn't work in the chat, so if somebody wants to take a screenshot of it, there it is.
Okay.
You
Do
know,
you
and
have to
the
say
neighborhood
for
location,
pre-recorded information?
I'm sorry, Pete?
Do you have to say for pre-recorded information? Why don't you just say, get all the details?
Yeah, you could do that too. Give them a reason to call the number.
Yeah, get all the details now. Something like that.
But when you
Love
say
it.
pre-recorded, they know it's a recording, so they know they want to talk to somebody. So that kind of helps the conversion, I think. Brian?
Oh,
Yeah, more people call. They don't want to talk to anybody. They
Right.
want the information.
okay. That's a good point. Great point by Dennis again. He must have had his coffee this morning. He's
I
on,
did.
he's
2
on
cups.
point. All right, let's go over to the coffee man, Dennis DeSalza, the otherwise known as the X-Man, and see what he's bringing with FSBOs and expireds.
All right. So I don't do, let me do a screen share here. All right. So this is my expired. I haven't done this. We're still tweaking these postcards a little bit, but this is kind of what we're doing. I'll put the whole link. Let me see here. After I show this all my slides, I will put the link for the Dropbox so everybody can copy it if they want. This took me a long time to figure out. So this is postcard. It's a series of postcards. The back end of it, I don't understand. My assistant does it and top producer, but it's a series of postcards we send over like 11 days to every expired. Okay. So
How many postcards?
I think there's 10 or 11. No, there's quite a few. It's a series, so we just bombard them. So this is number 1.
Yep.
Let me see here. Here's number 2. And we basically, Pete, there's your old place on the bottom right. See that?
Oh yeah.
BB Drive right there. So then we just show them the ones that people, other agents couldn't sell, how quick we sold them once we listed it.
Okay.
Right down the line. This is the front and back. So this is the front of the postcard. This is the back.
Okay.
So I just jammed the back even with stuff. Why not? Here's one right here. Your home sold guaranteed. The old thing that Brian taught me years ago. Haven't heard from you. This is the back of it.
Okay.
Realtor report card. What I offer. Easy exit agreement. I do. Other agents don't. Request showings online 24/7. Guaranteed buyout program. Sellers incentive club. Maximum payoff guide. Buyer trade up program. I offer all those. Other agents don't. Then I put a testimonial at the bottom, which is huge. All right.
Okay.
All third party verification. This is the back of it. The back of it always has more stuff on it. Your home didn't sell. How about mulligan? It's guaranteed. Last opportunity. So these aren't in exact order. This would be probably the last one that goes out right here. Show how many we sold. 380 expired homes. Other agents couldn't get sold, so we just kind of drive that home. Your home sold guaranteed. Guaranteed sold, or I'll buy it myself, which is, Brian could probably comment. It's probably the best URL to use for anybody here. Again, your home sold guaranteed. I'll buy myself. How my totally free no obligation consultation can be a huge and immediate benefit for you. I have that URL here. Okay.
There you go.
I need to switch my cell phone out at the bottom to a call rail number, and that's what we're going to work on.
Look at the picture. You look like a young Matt Damon.
That's old, man. I need to switch that out too.
Jeez.
So here's a free marketing kit we offer. Okay. More stuff, another testimonial in here. And I'm not going to read it all, but I'll put this in the chat so you guys can check it out. And that is it. I don't chase for sale by owners. I just do the expireds. And I don't, what Brian Moses taught me years ago is I don't like to sit there and call them. I like to do direct mail and have them call me. Okay.
So is this Brian's whole system that you duplicated? Tell the truth.
No, it's from different people. My home sale guaranteed is like an old Craig Proctor kind of thing, right?
Okay.
From 23 years ago. So
Yeah.
basically, and it still works. I mean, if you go around the country, that guy Mark Spain down in the southeast, you've probably seen him before, Cameron. He's got billboards all over Tampa, all over, all the way up to Carolina, all the way to Tampa, going through Florida. And basically it's, guaranteed offer in your home. It's kind of the same pitch.
Yeah.
Twisted in a different way, and it works, right? So
yeah, his is guaranteed sold, in a long time.
Yeah, I forget what Cameron, I don't know if you know what it is, but it's something like that. Guaranteed cash offer in your home in 24 hours or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So
Yep. that's what
strongest
it is,
cash
you guys.
offer
It's
on
just-
your home or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and with our company EXP, we have express offers is basically is that it's a iBuyer program, so we can make that offer
Right.
legitimately without the bait and switch kind of thing, which a lot of agents do. So
Yeah, we can guarantee that in 72 hours.
exactly. So I'll put the link in there. Okay, the Dropbox link is in there. If anybody wants to click on it, that's all my postcards, all for you.
Oh,
Done.
nice, the Salza. Look at you. You came delivering, bringing the heat today.
That's it.
I like that. Okay. Let's open it up for questions. We have around 9 minutes left before I ask Lurch what his zodiac sign is. And we'll go from there. So does anybody have any questions? So somebody said, Dennis, any particular reason your photo, aside from being 30 years old, has you looking up? Perhaps to not show all the chins, which is what I do.
Oh, Chad, you're hilarious, man.
I like
I
that.
don't know, Chad. Chad's a comical guy, the comical realtor over there.
Chad,
Good
that was
point. That's
awesome.
exactly why I do it, Chad.
I like to look up. I thought you were looking to the sky for something, for some reason.
It's old.
All right. Let's see. How can you make guarantees if you don't have a buyer? That's what somebody asked. Who wants
That's an
to
easy
take
one
that?
for us. Yeah, that one. Now I'd love to take that one. That one's easy. We do have buyers. I mean, we're always actively working with buyers. And then, like we were just saying here, with express offers, we truly can give them an all cash offer within 72 hours. And that's, I think, probably to answer your question, Monica, is that, to really to be front loaded is we have buyers. If they're not working or they're not looking for one of the listings that EXP has in the local area or your company has in the local area, they're not working with you directly, or they're not someone that on social media, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere that you are posting your listings or real estate information that you could have someone that comes to you from. That means that you have you have a buyer there and that you're looking for them. So that would be, how I tell people if we don't have a buyer that's looking for their home right at this second. Typically, when you hear that, if it's on a phone call, or if it's and it's an objection, the answer is, well, I don't know if I have a buyer specifically for your home. I have to see it first. Obviously, we're working with a lot of buyers in your area. And then, like I said, I typically am doing these prospectings around our homes we just sold. So my comment is always, we just sold that one down the street. We're very active in your neighborhood. And another secret is I always like to refer to it as our neighborhood. I'm very active in our neighborhood. Instead of your neighborhood, it's our neighborhood. That really works well. So that's how I kind of communicate with sellers if I don't have someone specifically for that home.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Brian, go ahead. Brian Yarber, you had his hand up.
Yeah, something that you guys reminded me of just now is I've had several buyers in buyer consultations or in just first time meetings that some buyers have been out looking before they come across your path, right? So a great question to begin asking, if you haven't already added this too, is before they came into your world, you ask them how long have they been looking and have they seen any other homes they liked? When you ask that question, you find out actually they'll say, yeah, and I had this happen several times where the buyer just said, yeah, we did see a house. I'll go, geez, you're kidding. What happened to it? Oh, we made an offer. What happened to your offer? Well, it wasn't accepted. Why? And you find out the story. And then when you have some time, you go back and look at that property, number one, to see what they really like. So you can now duplicate and try to look for a very similar property to help them as part of your presentation. But number two, several times I've found that the home was either for sale by an owner or now it is expired. And I've called several times, literally right after this conversation, and multiple times I have actually double-ended and put together transactions for a buyer who told me about a house that got away because the agent didn't do their job or something, there was miscommunication, but they actually told me. So don't be surprised if a buyer who just wanders into your open house and you're able to talk to them, how long you been looking for a home? Have you seen anything you liked? Geez, you're kidding. What happened to it? They'll tell you the story. And if that home's come back on the market, what do you think? Would you still be interested in it? Yeah, of course, if that house comes. Okay, great. My job is to find out, right? So start playing with that script because current buyers that are out there are frustrated. And a lot of them give up on an agent and they just start working shotgun with any agent that can help them. But you'll learn their story real quick. And then a lot of times you can go and resurrect an expired, or maybe look back at a canceled or withdrawn or a neighborhood that did have, and use that buyer now as part of your script to get into it.
Love that. Okay, somebody else had a question. They said, let's see. What do you say to a seller who says, look at the pics on Zillow when you're trying to see their home, and just they try to dismiss you? Who wants to take that one?
I've never gotten that one, to be honest. I've never had a seller tell me that their homes are already on Zillow. So just real quick, just coming off, role playing. If someone said their homes are on Zillow, I'd say, oh my goodness, I really appreciate that. I look at literally hundreds and hundreds of homes on photos every day on the MLS and on Zillow and like that. And I'll be honest, a lot of the time, the home doesn't look like it looks like in photos. And the other thing that's really important, which you can't always see in photos, is what the neighborhood looks like. And that's really important for my buyers. And that's really something that I'd love to drive by. And then obviously, if I'm going to drive by, I'd love to meet you while I'm there. So that's kind of, if they said that on the phone to me, which I've never had a seller say, that's how I would play it off is, I have to see the home because obviously photos lie, but you can spin that how you want. And then it's also more important about the neighborhood because, that's really what people are interested in as well. Now, one thing that I do, and how I would do this, just thinking about it, is I would tell them that I also do drone videos, and it's really cool. Is I have a little drone I can throw up and do a quick 360 video, and I tell them how much my buyers love that. And then I can ask them, did your last agent, if it isn't expired, or, did your last agent do drone videos, or did they do aerial photography? Because lots of people like to see the neighborhood. That's why I stop by. So that's kind of how I would roll that one into.
Oh, I like that. That was good. That was good. Anybody else have any insight on that?
I don't think it gets asked a lot, to be honest with you. I've never had anybody ask me like Cameron, I don't know if the person asking that question had that posed, but, I would say something like, hey, I'm sure your house, Pete, looks a lot better than it does in pictures. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Then I'd like to see it in person, just so I could get a good feel for it and tell my buyers how beautiful it is. Wouldn't be a good time for me to come by.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow sometime.
Cool. What time tomorrow?
How about 10?
Cool. I'll see you then.
All right. And you just kind of see it real fast? What's the deal?
Yeah, I want to take a look at it, see if it fits what my buyer's looking for.
Hey, DeSalza, did you ever have to buy somebody's house where it didn't sell and you had to buy it?
No.
Okay.
No, that's a whole nother conversation. Maybe we can get into that sometime. Moses is a pro at that. Craig Lurch is a pro at that. There's a lot of requirements they need to jump through before you buy their house. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But with our company EXP, we have express offers, so we don't have to do all those hoops anymore, which is nice.
Right, because
that's exactly it.
If you're part of the express offers program, there's tons of investors and buyers, and then you explain if you want to get top money, this program may not work for you, but if you want just a quick cash offer, we can line that up.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have that conversation until you're face to face with them, right? So
exactly. Anybody else want to add anything on that? Maybe we should do one of these weeks, just a whole thing on like major calls to action to get listing leads, right? And what guarantees and programs you put out there and how do you explain them and develop them?
Absolutely.
That might be a really good topic.
Absolutely.
All right, we're at 10 o'clock. I want to wish everybody a happy and safe July 4th. We're having an EXP July 4th barbecue today at the EXP Luxury office in La Jolla, California. So if you're in San Diego, come by. It's from 12 to 4. I'm cooking up hot dogs. I'm cooking up hamburgers. It's a America celebration, right? EXP style, but with luxury added to it. So it's going to be cool. So
see you there, man.
All right, Cameron, keep wearing the sunscreen. Lurchy, hit it straight when you're at the golf course and keep asking for the orders. Brian, stay at the luau, buddy. I love that you stay at the luau.
I'll see you today on the
All
sidewalk.
right, boys.
See you guys later. Great one. Great stuff.
See
Bye,
ya.
guys.